Hey everybody, this is Rolando. I'm in Oklahoma City with Kevin Sutton, who is the Director of Operations for the region.
Mm-hmm.
Now you shared with us a story about using the system Isolite in a bunch of other offices. Could you kind of recount that? You just mentioned it.
Yeah, not at all. So I have 5 locations in the Austin, Texas footprint where my primary doctor owner is a prosthodontist by trade. So I've been in operations for 17 years, and one of my strengths is expense reduction, leveraging economies of scale, things like that.
Right.
So I had a couple of locations, 3 out of my 5 felt as though, the providers felt as though, hey, I got 2 assistants, I need 3. And we're going, no, you don't need 3 assistants. Right now, we can't support you having 3 assistants at that moment. So we went down the course of adding additional Isolites, IsoDry systems. 2 of my offices had them. I'd walked into a location and I saw the owner doc doing a huge treatment case, and he was in there the whole time by himself. So I freaked out. I'm like, what is he doing, and why is he in that by himself? And I walked by and he said, shh, I have the Isolite. I was like, okay, cool. I said, okay, cool. Well, I know what I'm doing now. If he can work by himself on a big case, then I'm going to install these in all the locations, and we'll see how we reduce our overhead costs that way. I had a location in Belton.
At all.
Now, as long as the provider is using it, he's usually happy. You have your other 2 assistants seating other patients, one taking x-rays, the other one's doing hygiene, but the provider should be able to work 95, 98% of the time independently.
Wow.
For us, the barrier was a lack of knowledge with new providers coming out. You know, a lot of the new providers, they are familiar with Isolites, but the older ones that's been out for a while, we had a lot of more senior level providers that hadn't even heard of it. So the hurdle for us was getting the providers confident and comfortable with being in an operatory by themselves, because that's the scariest thing. They're also used to having an assistant sitting right there. And in these 3 offices, one of my issues here was my provider felt as though I need another assistant. And I said, no, you don't. You need an Isolite. And she's like, what is an Isolite? And I was like, no worries. I'll show you exactly what it is. So we went to your website, we pulled it up, and I said, hey, the key thing here for you to know is that everything that you think you need in an assistant, the Isolite does for you. You know, the bigger thing you use an assistant for is to retract the jaw. Well, Isolite does that for you. You want them to grab your bite block. Well, it's already available for you. Your light goes out, it's a light on the Isolite. Like, what are you buying all this stuff for when it's available easily at your hand tips, at your fingertips? So, you know, my spiel was just that simple, to the point that I went to the doctor on here and said, Doc, have you heard of Isolite? He's like, no, heard of it, don't really use it. Your life's about to change, doctor, okay? Because I'm going to bring in the Isolites for you. So that's been our story. For the total brand, though, we love Isolites. We have them in all 5 of our locations. We live and breathe Isolites. If we run out, we're not very happy, so we don't run out, okay?
So what